Now, this I'm going to read out is just an experience with God a friend of mine had. Here in Spain, I've translated into English, and he's given me his permission to spread the message. One night, while I was alone in the woods, I felt so desperate that I jumped up, driven by a strange urge, and I shouted aloud, pleading the heavens for an answer. I asked the Lord to give me a sign of His real existence. I promised to Him that if He gave me a sign of His existence, I would become a believer and worship Him for the rest of my life. But although I waited for an answer, the hours went by and nothing happened, not until 3 o'clock in the morning. I looked up at the skies in terror. It wasn't just anything that I saw, because the stars were swaying in front of my eyes. They swayed as if they were going to fall down from one moment to another. The stars swayed just like lanterns in the wind, and when I focused on one part of the sky, it seemed to me they formed the word Islam. I was nearly getting up to run away in fright when an intense white light covered everything, and I heard a voice. "Do not fear, I am the Lord, your God." I nearly fainted, then fell on my knees, pleading God not to punish me for all the occasions in which I had made fun of Him, for not having believed in His existence. After a moment that seemed a long time to me, the same voice spoke again. "You have nothing to fear. I who is speaking to you are the Lord's angel." But I thought he was in contradiction, as he had just told me he was the Lord. So he continued, "Yes, it is true, I am the Lord's angel, but my words are His words. You must understand that God does not communicate with humans directly." This is what the voice said, and also, God does not punish man. It is people who punish themselves by suffering the effects of their sinful actions. After a pause, the voice asked me to look towards the light without thinking in anything else, just to look to my front towards the light. When I did so, within the white light some precious green letters appeared, and I saw the letters forming the words Islam. Afterwards, I saw a plateau that seemed to be covered with beautiful green grass. It was huge. Its boundaries disappeared in the distance, and I couldn't see where it finished. There was a light in the distance that made you feel as if you were going to die if you dared to stare at it. That frightened me. Then the voice told me not to look at the light, and that I should look at those who were occupying the plateau. I did what the voice told me. I was astonished when I saw thousands of human beings placed in rows and looking towards the light. They looked humans to me, but the voice that seemed to be able to read my mind told me that they were not human beings. The voice said they were angels. Those angels were placed in rows like Muslims when they gather inside mosques at praying time, and they bowed, touching the green grass with their foreheads and looking towards the light in the distance. I had the impression that they kissed the green floor while they prayed in a strange tongue that sounded to me as an Arabic language. What I am sure of is that they looked directly towards the same light I should not look at. And when they stood upright, they signaled with their hands, taking their right hand to the forehead and to the heart. They also hummed so beautifully that I would have stayed there forever. Such was my joy. But the voice told me I could not stay there, as I was still not prepared to go to that place, paradise. The voice spoke again. "The Lord has chosen you to forward a message to the Arab world. You only believe in what you feel. That is why God has chosen you, and because of the impact it would have on the Arab world that a European like you, an unbeliever that doesn't know much about religion, went out to speak to them about the incredible things you have seen and heard. Why are you in doubt of what has been put before your eyes? Of course you can refuse to do if you wish. And you say that you are God? I asked. No, the voice said again. I've already told you I'm an angel. I'm a messenger angel that serves humanity and the Lord, our God and your God. As I have told you before, no human being would resist hearing God's voice directly. And it was in this moment that I began to cry, due to my fear and my fatigue. Whatever the reason, now I felt so guilty and sad that I thought I was going to die. But with tears running down my face, I said I'd do anything he would ask me to. Nevertheless, I have taken so much time in doing so because it really frightens me. I am aware that some people in the Arab world might try to harm me for saying what I say. And the voice said again, cry, my son, cry, because your tears are tears of salvation. I say that one day you will be with me in paradise. Go and give this message out to the Muslims of this planet, and do not fear, because if you die during your mission, although there is no reason whatsoever for that to happen, the moment of your departure to the sacred place I have shown you a while ago will take place more quickly. Tell them that war is evil, and that those who promote war are evil. Although they say that war is God's will, it is not so. It is the will of those wicked people. That is why the empires created by human beings have always fallen apart, one after another. None of those empires ever had the support of ours and your Creator, and the last of the empires is also to fall. But this will not happen because of the attacks of the Muslims. No, go and tell them that the last empire will fall because of its own evil actions. God the Almighty knows very well all the crimes that the European American Empire has committed. God, who sees and hears everything, knows how terrible these crimes have been. Everything is ready for the Colossus to fall. But for this to happen, the empire must be left alone, with nobody to fight against. The more that those who oppose it attack the empire, the stronger it becomes. When they attack the empire with their weapons, they do their will, not God's will. This should be clearly understood. My friend says, I have been hearing the angels speak to me for over 20 years now. I have also seen how his predictions always become true. I still see how the images he puts in my mind become real after some time. And I plead to every person with common sense to cooperate with me in spreading this divine message. It is God's will that the slaughter that is currently taking place comes to an end as soon as possible. The true believers, in the words of the angel, don't need anybody to tell them what the truth is. Be them Muslims, Christians, or whatever, they control themselves to serve the purpose of peace, instead of behaving like those who are influenced by the devil of ignorance. Instead of living for war, they live for peace. Only peace is holy. Salam. Hope I've been of some help to whoever wants to see this video. Thanks.